Hi guys, this is Eshan Bhojane. How are you guys? I'm going to be explaining the questions for this interview. So I'll just get right to it. So the first question is in my index HTML, explain the figure and fake caption. So let's go to index HTML, and what you are referring to is this over here. Now, the figure is just like this. It's just a HTML resource that. So I remember when I was looking at these types of configurations, how to put the image and how to just how to configure it to make it look aesthetically pleasing. You would use that figure element, and that figure would be specified by fake caption. So you would have that sample, which was actually within that audio stuff. So yeah, like here's the actual website. So here, and within there, with a fake caption is supposed to, it's supposed to basically show the sample, the song sample. So it shows the Genius link. Now, I don't think it really ended up working anyway, but the objective was that there is the audio, and then it says, hey, listen to this sample. What ended up just happening was that it just produced the Genius link, but the original intent was that it needed to be like the figure would specify the element, and then you would use the fake caption is actually specifying the element, and you would just be there to say, okay, this is the element, and it's kind of a description. A lot of times you can use figure with images, so you can have an image, and then fake caption would be like, this is an image of such and such. But I think because it wasn't purely the figure wasn't specified in my styling, no, not my styling, my app, where I had all of these things specified, and then I was able to kind of just make them even more specific as to do that. But yeah, the figure caption was the intent of it, just to specify, but it didn't really end up showing up. So that does kind of suck, but it is what it is. Okay, so now we'll go to the second question. What does justify content property do? Justify content space between in my styling sheet. So just like the last one, this is just a formatting thing. So as you can see, you can see the justify here and justify here. So there's two justify, one that says justify content center, and the other one that's justify content space between. Now, this is a styling mechanism, and it's used when you are using a flex container. Flex containers make it easier for positioning, and it's just more convenient to use. And justify content is a spacing characteristic. So there's multiple elements you can use. You could do something like right, left, between, center. So justify content within the flex, as you can see right here, the flex container that is being made, justify content equals center. So within that margin along, it would basically be aligned along this axis that is made within that container. So justify content center just puts it center. This is really just, and the last one, justify content space between. Space between, it really is just putting things evenly. I could have really just stuck with center, but I just thought space between would have been more, I was just having trouble with it being aligned well. So it's one of those things where you're just trying things, and this just happens to work. So I just let it be as is. But all in all, justify content is just a way for when you're using a container, it helps align things to whatever you want within that axis of that flex container. Okay, third question. So how have you used the Genius API to fetch the lyrics of the song? Okay, this is a fun question because I remember this took me a really, really long time. So we were talking about the lyrics of the song. Okay, so I really just take you through a lot of just really the whole process per se. So before we really get into the Genius part, some things are kind of interconnected. So first I start off with making this dictionary, and so this list, and so this list these are just the IDs of 3 artists I liked. I chose Japanese artists because the American artists that I really liked, their data wasn't really showing up well. There's some errors with these, but the Japanese artists didn't have any of those tendencies. So I just have those 3 IDs, and then I made this this is the random generator. So within those 3 options we have made in the list, it just chooses one. And so it's specified by RA. So RA is the important variable. So RA is the random variable. And as I'm going through, so this is really Spotify, but we will get to the Genius API. But in order to get that Genius API, you should understand some things about the Spotify API things I used. So when we are, we're doing .get and we're trying to get the JSON from that, the format Spotify requested was this. So after the get, you have the base URL, and this is just specificities. So base URL, the artist. Now the artist right here is really referring to this RA. So artist is it's just denominating the name artist, but the RA is the real value. So artist is just making you know that RA is artist. So RA is the ID. So usually when you're doing .get, it would be something, the base URL, the ID, and then, the top tracks. And then we have the headers params, which are required by Spotify. And then you get the JSON from that. But as I said before, the RA is something quite important. You should know, because it's just what I used as in previous things. But so the RA is an essential thing for that whole .get function, and really the output of the artist info. So keep in mind, RA gets the random ID, and it's really essential for most, getting the artist's name, the preview of the song. So that RA, as you can see, is used in all of these I'm using to get information of the song. Now we are getting to the Genius API. So as you can see here, this is where it really starts. Now, what I'm doing is, so once I might get lyrics. So this is to get the lyrics. So song title equals get artist info. So as I was saying, the RA is important. Why? Because these are a little bit interconnected. So from song title equals get artist info. From artist info, what we were doing is we're really just getting the name of this song. And so, as I said, that's why I explained that whole process. So it really specifies it. So the output of this really just gives the song name. And within that Genius API, the methods I was using this is the output of that. So this Q is the song title. So what we're doing with the Genius is I just wanted this to be easy. So I just took the information from there to get the name of the song, so I don't have to really I didn't have to do some hard coding here. So the name is already specified here. So we get Q, which will be this output that we got from get artist info. And so when we are doing this, we're doing our .get, what we end up getting towards is the name of the song. So let's go a bit more deeper into this. This really is just the documentation that we have to do to really go towards it, just like we did with the Spotify API. Then let's see what we're doing after this. This is just a failsafe, really. So I used a try except function. I originally used if else statements in the case that this thing wasn't working. Most of the times this really worked well. I didn't have an issue with the song not working, or perhaps the failsafe is actually really working really well. But so I did use the try except. So the try except here is just, if this is really just empty, if this is empty, just get lir link, which is this is just this link here is one I know that works all the time. So that's really just good. Yeah, so basically I think that's as far it is for the get lyrics aspect. So the get lyrics is just getting the artist's name, the song's name, and what we're doing once we're going through this whole documentation, we're really just taking this Q song title, and we're just making use of that so we can get the name of the song. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I think let me see if there's anything I am missing, but yeah. So also, yeah, what I forgot to say. So I was just trying to remember what this was. I knew I was getting this artist, the song title name, but the way it coincides within this is within the params. So just like with the Spotify stuff, where we're using the .get and we're having our requirements, the base URL and blah blah blah. What we're doing here is the params is where we're taking use of Q. I was just looking at it. So yeah, params is the Q, the song title, which we're getting right here. and after within that .get, the params has the Q within it. At first, just a second, I was like, "Where's the Q at?" But I was like, "Oh, the Q is within the params. Params is getting that info. So when he gets the .get, the JSON that is returned has the song name. So the song name is just automatically there. So it's kind of less work in my opinion. But yeah, so that's what it is. Sorry for that long explanation. Now, index function in your app py. Okay, this is just going to be a little bit. Where's the index? Within my, I think it was app, right? Yeah. There you are. Okay, def index. So let's see. This really is just a reform. I think this is mainly just formatting. So the way I'm going to explain def index is, let's see. So I mean, there's not really much to explain here. I think besides just what we're doing is just from here we're getting all the calls we got from this is the main one, which was proj. I did all my Genius and Spotify API stuff in one Python file. So we're just importing that stuff here, and what we're doing to return this stuff is this really just like the fundamental part of the app, making the app. So when we're trying to deploy this on use this Flask to like make this app, these are just certain parameters that we need there so that once it is running, because all of this like project py, all of these other files are just static, and this is really the dynamic stuff we need. So when we are running it in real time, we are just specifying these names. And I think one important thing for index.html especially is when we're working within the HTML file, I gave these different names so that when we are when we are doing some formatting stuff, that like such as song title, karaoke, it's just more easier to like specify. So where did index go? Right here, yeah. I'll move this over here. So this is just setting new names. I kind of actually did this here just for your convenience. So nom equals get artist info name, artist name, the poster equals the image. So this is just documentation stuff really. I think that really is most of it, to be honest. But I'm gonna see if there's anything more specific that I should. Yeah, I think that's really about it. So within this index, we're just we're making this is, as I said, this is formatting. We are just setting up our stuff for deploying it on Flask. I'm giving some specifications here, just giving more convenient names to the functions I had made before. And then this is just this stuff here is just hosts. This is Heroku's this was a requirement Heroku definitely needed. So yeah, I think the question was a bit. Yeah, so that's what index really does in app py. These are just really specifications. So when we are running it on Flask, it's all there. And then it's when we're making those templates, when we do return render flask.template within index, right? This is really index. This is the index we're working with here. This is like the HTML skeleton body that we are configuring. So this index HTML is really just is really referring to this area over here, and all these names that we have made are all configured over in this area. And yeah, I think that's really about it. I think I went a bit overboard, so I think that's most of my answers. So yeah, any more questions, I am happy to specify, but I will quickly demonstrate my app really, so just for the sake of you guys seeing. So yeah, this is the Genius link that was here. But yeah, one thing that I found interesting is when you are clicking on the Genius link, certain renditions of the song are more popular than the original one. So they will give the same song, but this might just be a different artist, but it's really the same song. And the audio works. So I was pretty proud of this project overall. It was pretty good. I did a lot of documentation, especially in the README and even in the notes of the code. So yeah, I think it went pretty decent, to be honest. So, but I think one thing that I wish I could have worked on a bit more was that I wish I made my randomizer in the main app instead of my project, because the project py is just all static. So my website does randomize, but it's within time intervals, not every single time. So like maybe like after 5 minutes I'll get a new website. And I actually talked to John about this, and this was just because every once in a while Heroku will like restart the website, so it'll refresh. So the randomizer isn't like the best randomizer, but it works. But anyway, those were my answers to all my questions. Thank you for listening.